Hey everybody, Mike McElroy here with Center Coast Realty. Welcome back to our August Chicago real estate market update. Today we're going to talk about a huge comeback story for the downtown Chicago housing market and how vaccination rates may be driving that. But first, before we get into it, if you want to know what's going on in your neighborhood, please fill out that form below. If you're watching us on YouTube, head on over to the link that you see there, fill out the form, and you can request a custom neighborhood report on your very own neighborhood or some neighborhoods that you're considering buying in. And we'll tell you what's going on in your own backyard. It's important to get that local, hyper-relevant data because every neighborhood is different. It's not going to be the same in Elgin as it is in Lakeview, right? So you got to get that hyper-local data. So go ahead and fill out that form. All right, let's do the numbers. Everyone wants to know what housing prices are doing, so we're going to start by looking at median housing prices for the Chicagoland area. Now, overall, in the entire Chicagoland area, just year to date, the median price of homes went up 16.3% this year. That's nuts. That's absolutely bananas. In the city of Chicago, it was 9.5%, and in downtown Chicago, it was 5.6%. Even though it's a buyer's market in most of downtown Chicago, prices are still rising there. If you follow us on Instagram, we actually broke that down for you yesterday. Moving on to contracts, we always like to look at the number of homes that are going under contract because that gives us an idea of the demand for a particular part of the market. So in the Chicagoland area overall, are you ready? Brace yourselves. Contracts went down year over year in July. Actually, it was down year over year a little bit in June too, only about 6%. And again, we're starting to get to that point where we're comparing this July to last July, which was also very busy. That was the start of this red hot housing market that we've had ever since kind of the early part of COVID. Moving into the city, July contracts were down 2.7%, but moving all the way down to look at downtown, contracts were actually up 29.9% year over year, which is the beginning of that story I was telling you about. That's not just higher than 2020, that's actually higher than the July number back in 2019. So it's not just that last year was kind of a weird year. That was a really strong July contract number. It just goes to show you the demand for downtown is still there. In fact, more homes went under contract in downtown Chicago in the last 6 months than in any 6-month period that we have data on going back to 2008. So the demand is really there. The mayor just said we're nowhere near another shutdown. And it's interesting, the zip codes that have some of the highest vaccination rates in the city are all right downtown. We'll talk about that in a second here. But before we do, we always want to look at the supply side of things too, right? Demand is only half the picture. So overall in the Chicagoland area, the number of homes for sale at the end of July was down by about 28.4% compared to last July. So it's still a really low inventory market in most of the Chicagoland area, but it's starting to pick back up. The number of homes for sale is up about 25% from where it bottomed out just back in March a couple of months ago. So 25% increase over a couple of months. That's common for this time of year, but it's also a little bit of a sign that things are starting to change. In the city of Chicago, the number of homes for sale at the end of July was down about 10% compared to last year, but similarly up about 10% since February. And finally, downtown Chicago, where the amount of homes on the market was down 17.3% in July. This is actually back down to its July 2019 levels, and it's down 33% from where it peaked in September of 2020. So remember, at the beginning of the pandemic and really through last summer, there was a huge flood of inventory that hit the downtown Chicago market. A lot of condos, a lot of smaller units that were just a little bit less marketable in last year and early this year's market. But what we have seen is that as things have started opening back up, that's become a lot more appealing. And the demand that we were just talking about is starting to eat through some of that inventory. It's still a buyer's market downtown, but it's starting to flip. So I've been telling buyers, folks, if you're looking to buy downtown, now's your chance. It's going to be one of the best opportunities you have for a while. The 11 zip codes in our map of downtown Chicago make up 11 of the top 16 most vaccinated zip codes in the city of Chicago. That's according to the city's COVID dashboard that they've been keeping pretty up to date. for the past year or so. That's actually first dose, but pretty similar rankings for the full series as well. 7 of those zip codes are more than 70% vaccinated, aka what some people are saying is herd immunity. The lowest one is 60.7%, looking at you, 60610. And as a result, you've seen restaurants opening back up. We had a Lollapalooza this past weekend. And even though the cases are rising in the state and the city overall, in downtown Chicago, if you look at those downtown zip codes, they're not going up that much. That's not where the increase in cases are coming from. So we saw last year that a lot of people moved out of the city because there were a number of reasons. But one of them was concern about the virus itself. And it's now looking like downtown Chicago might be one of the safer places to be. I'm a realtor, not a public health expert. Please consult those sources as well. But just looking at it from a real estate lens, we're seeing the demand coming back. And I think a lot of people are kind of feeling that way. And that's what's most likely driving a lot of this comeback story for the downtown Chicago market. So, will this comeback have legs? Will it make it through the winter? We will have to see. So please stick with us. Check back next month. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an update. And again, if you want to know what's going on in your neighborhood or your zip code, go ahead and fill out that form below on our website, and we will send you a handcrafted report on the community of your choice so you know what's going on in your own backyard. Thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you next time.